Now to Libya, where rebel forces are surging forward by taking advantage of the week of airstrikes, putting the Gaddafi regime on the back foot. The rebels have regained control of several coastal towns, and in the past hour, one of their spokesmen has claimed rebels have captured even Colonel Gaddafi's hometown. It's a remarkable comeback, reviving the hopes of the people of Benghazi that a life without Gaddafi may be within reach. Middle East correspondent Ben Knight reports.
Sami Al-Jabani isn't here to sketch the burned-out palace of Moamar Gaddafi. Today he's drawing a subject he only dared to attempt for the first time 6 days ago, the Libyan leader himself. Just a month ago, drawing a caricature of Moamar Gaddafi would have been suicide.
In general, spies all over the places, especially in schools, colleges, universities, where they're gathering places like cafes and whatever, you know. And they keep listening and they take notes and they find out who you are.
In Libya, life under Moamar Gaddafi is a life under orders, often capricious and bizarre. As you drive around Benghazi, you notice that people have painted all of their doors and shutters in the Colonel's favourite colour, green. He told them to. His political manifesto, the Green Book, is now a compulsory school subject. At various times, Moamar Gaddafi has banned things from cameras to football.
This is why most of the people exploded, because they can't handle anymore. Because I've been told so many times to put a Libyan flag in the office, which I didn't, the Green Book, which I didn't. I'm always aware that if I leave the office, I might end up in one of the followers' car and off. Nobody will know where I am.
And within days of Benghazi falling to the rebels, it became clear what had happened to those who were caught. The torture chambers and underground prisons were finally opened up. But for 3 weeks, this city was also a euphoric place to be. People here were convinced that it was only a matter of time before Colonel Gaddafi left or died, and they were already preparing for life without him. There was fighting, but it was hours away. Or so they thought, until last weekend, when Benghazi and the entire revolution nearly fell to a surprise attack from the Gaddafi army. At 7:30 on Saturday morning, tanks appeared in the centre of the city. Just as they had 3 weeks earlier, the residents faced them down with stones and small arms. But this time, it was clear that wasn't going to be enough. What saved them were the Allied airstrikes that began that same morning.
We were very, very lucky. We were glad that the Allied attacked. I'm talking a matter of hours, otherwise Benghazi would have been destroyed. And of course Benghazi was the target.
Just how close Benghazi came to destruction became clear when we took a short drive south of the city.
So you can see these some of the tanks and the rockets facing Benghazi. Now from here to Benghazi is about 25 to 30 kilometers, so you can imagine if they used this to hit the city Benghazi, would have been the city Benghazi would have been finished, to be honest.
The airstrikes turned the revolution back around at the last minute. Tanks were literally stopped in their tracks, their massive turrets blown off, lying metres away.
How do you feel about the people who were driving these tanks, your fellow Libyans?
Well, I think most of them been forced to do that. Most probably, if they're Libyans, their family would have been captured somewhere in Sirte or Tripoli. And we evidence that some of them they gave up, and they had to, because they cannot just bombing civilians.
What happened here was the narrowest of escapes, but it shows what might have happened to the city and has already happened in other rebel cities in the east, like Misrata and Zawiya, of which nothing has been heard since it fell to the pro-Gaddafi forces last week. Once again, the rebels are pushing forward and full of bravado, talking of advancing all the way along the road to Tripoli. But they only got this far with the help of the world's most advanced jet fighters, and they're now on the other side of the country, concentrating on their mission to protect civilians in the cities under attack, like Misrata. It all depends on Tripoli, and if Tripoli is to fall, it will have to happen from within.
I don't know what's going to happen in Tripoli. The Tripoli population is 2 million. The security and the spies and God knows what else. There's so many. You're talking about minimum 40,000 of them. Mind you, you've got the troops as well, you've got the tanks, you've got everything. So I really don't want to say much about Tripoli because it's a big question mark.
Can the opposition win without Tripoli?
Tripoli is our capital. They have to win.
Ben Knight reporting from Libya.